Hi, welcome to day 14, Into the Lion's Den, the story of Daniel. After Jeremiah's letter, God's people waited for God to keep his promise. They planted gardens and built houses and started families. But most of all, they counted the years. They remembered God's promise to bring them back home. So even though they felt alone, they knew that God was with them. Even when it was hard, even when they didn't listen, even when they were miles and miles from home, God did not forget his people. So he sent another prophet to remind them that he wouldn't stay away far forever. His name was Daniel. Now, Daniel was one of the smartest prophets that ever lived. He was also one of the hardest workers, and he had a special skill, like Joseph had back in Egypt. Daniel knew how to interpret dreams, and that was a winning combination. So it shouldn't surprise you that the king, named Darius, gave Daniel a great job and an important title. Daniel might have been far from home, but the king had given him a lot of power. Now, some people got jealous of Daniel pretty quickly. They wanted his great job and his important title, so they started plotting a way to bring Daniel down. This was their plan. Now, everybody knew that Daniel loved God and prayed to him every day. So they decided to get King Darius to make a new law so that everyone could only pray to the king. Now, of course, you know that this is a bad idea because people should only pray to God. And Daniel knew that too, but the king didn't. And according to this new law, if people didn't pray to the king, they'd be thrown into a lion's den and become a lion's snack. So when this group of bad guys came to the king, it was over in a heartbeat. The king heard their idea and loved how important it made him seem. He had no clue that they were trying to hurt Daniel. He signed the paper, and just like that, Daniel's life was in danger. Daniel heard about the new law, but he prayed to God anyway, just like he always had. He went to his room, closed the door, and prayed, just like he had every day before. The bad guys were listening, and they knew that Daniel had broken the law. They dragged Daniel before the king, pointed to the law book, and demanded that Daniel go to the lions. The king realized what happened, and he regretted the law he had made. But he was stuck. He had soldiers throw Daniel to the lions, but even as they did, he said something that almost sounded like a prayer to God. "I hope your God rescues you," he said to Daniel. The next morning, the king ran straight to the lion's den. He peered his head in and yelled, "Daniel, are you there?" "You bet," Daniel answered. "You thought I was alone down here, but I wasn't. Along with these lions, God was with me. Even when it was dark, even when I felt alone, even when I was afraid, God was here, and he protected me." Daniel wasn't the only one that God was using miles and miles from home. He was also using other prophets and other animals to get all kinds of people ready for his return. And still, every day he prayed, "God, we have sinned, so you drove us away. But even in Babylon, I will hope and I will pray. God, will you come back to stay?"